Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience in Mississippi, WYAD 94.1 FM, and WYADonline.com. We're glad that you all could be with us. Also, those tuning into our online affiliates around the world, including our friends at Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music Podcasts. Glad you all could be with us as well. I'm excited to welcome back Deneka Kelly to our program today. She's the owner of A Piece of Cake. Had a chance to interview Deneka when she first launched her business in Mississippi. A lot has happened with her, both professionally as well as some changes she's made for herself personally. So I wanted to invite her back on the program to talk about what it's been like for her to grow her business, what's been like for her also, of course, to be able to deal with the challenges that all of us have had to kind of cope with since 2020 with COVID, but also let you guys know how to stay connected with her as well. Deneka, welcome back to Conversations Live.
Hey.
It's good to speak with you again. Deneka, you know, it's crazy to think about how much has happened for you since the last time that we first spoke. I mean, after your very first event, I mean, we're talking about a year and a half ago. It was December 2018 when you were.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I guess almost 2 years ago. Yeah, it's been a minute because it was December 2018 when we last had you on the program. What was it like for you to kind of see all that you've been able to do since you first launched your business?
It's almost overwhelming because this was just a seed planted by my aunt that pretty much knew what I was capable of. I was like, "You're crazy. I can't do that." And she was like, "Go for it, do it." So I went for it, and I've been going since.
Yeah. And so I want to talk about I want to talk about the love of cooking for you because I think, you know, you cannot do what you do without the love. When did you first realize that love that you had for cooking?
It's been with me for forever. Watching people cook when I was younger or cooking with my family. And when I got married and I started cooking more, I realized, you know, this is a stress reliever. And over time, I got better and better. They say the more you do it, the better you get. That's basically what happened with me. And most of the time, everything is my own recipe.
Wow. And the recipes, let's just talk about that, because one of the things that it's been, as a customer of yours, I can say this, your menu has definitely changed from when you first launched in 2018. And I love the fact that one of the ways you've been able to kind of keep us kind of, you know, not only angry at you for the food that you're making, but also keep us informed is through Facebook. So I want to talk about the business side versus the passion, because it's interesting to hear you call it a stress reliever, which I can see how that could be. But what has the business part of it been like for you to balance?
Between having a family and children, I basically just have to plan around what I'm doing because I'm always busy, always prepping, always planning, always talking to customers. I'm always engaging. So it's basically, at first it was very, very like frantic, but over time I decided, you know, I needed to slow down and regroup, and I just basically felt my way around and basically just saw what worked better for me, which is what I'm doing now. Because you notice I don't cook every single day, and I don't bake every day. So I have to have some balance in between so that I could produce better work, because I do work better when I'm less overwhelmed and stressed.
Yeah. You're bringing up a really good point, Deneka, for our audience, because I think, you know, for all of us, I think for any of us who have a life outside of myself, you know, I think there is that balance of what you love to do when it comes to work, but also the personal aspect. And it's interesting, even when I introduced you, I said, you know, you're the owner of A Piece of Cake. When I first interviewed you, it was For Heavenly Delights. So talk to us about the change. I mean, what happened from 2018 from For Heavenly Delights to how you got to 2020 to A Piece of Cake?
Okay. For Heavenly Delights was in honor of my dad because I felt like, he'd be smiling from heaven. He would be delighted. But, he saw a lot of potential, and he always pushed me and told me that, you could do more. You could be better. And he told me that I did have a purpose and just to, hang on, and basically, I'll eventually get there. And I did. But I felt like, and my aunt helped come up with the For Heavenly Delight. But I wanted to make the business more, more fitting of me. I felt like, basically I outgrew that name and brand. Gotcha. And I see a lot of other For Heaven or Heavenly or something, and I want it to be different. And baking and cooking is my passion, so I say it's my piece, and that's why I sell a piece of cake, like, the peace sign, and it's peaceful to me. So that's how I came up with a piece of cake.
Yeah. So I mentioned 2020 because, that was a big year of change for a lot of people. A lot of shifts had to happen, especially your industry, Deneka. 2020, it was really interesting. People went into the year saying, yeah, this is going to be my year. All this stuff is going to be going on. I'm going to do this, going to do that. How did COVID kind of change your 2020?
I had a whole bunch of cakes planned for the first weekend that, they were scaring people saying COVID is here, and everybody's like, you know what, I don't want that, so I'm going to cancel my cake. Mm-hmm. But my customers moved their dates, so we didn't have to, I didn't have to pay anything back or anything. They just said, you know what, just use it as a credit for when I get ready for, for the cake, or we could talk about something else, which was, I feel like that was fair. But it slowed things down a whole lot. And I just said a prayer, and it seems like every time I just kind of let go and don't worry about it, things always get better, and they did. So I just sat down and I waited, and when everybody was comfortable, it was about a month and a half, and I was back working, and I was selling food. Okay. I realized, the restaurants aren't open right now, so this is my chance to help everybody out that's tired of cooking.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I was curious about that because it was interesting, 2020 ended up being, and I said it recently, my best professional year in almost 5 years. And you're right. It opened up a lot of opportunities for people. So I want to talk about that for you because I think it's a bigger message for our audience, Deneka, out there who may be faced with their own challenges, right? We all go through difficult times. All of us go through that. Mm-hmm. How important has it been for you not to give up when the difficult times come?
I truly feel like that this is my purpose, and I know eventually with consistency, something is going to happen. Mm-hmm. There has never been a time that I didn't work towards something and I didn't get anything out of it, if that makes sense. Yeah. But it's you just have to keep going. I just feel like it's my purpose, and a lot of people tell me that they admire my work ethic because I'm always doing something. Right. And a lot of people start this business and they quit because they feel like they're not getting recognition and support, but you have to keep pushing and get yourself out there. Eventually, your customer base is going to develop.
Has it been
no matter how many people?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No, I was about to say that no matter how many people do, the cooking and the baking, there's always going to be somebody that prefers your product because, they prefer it because they like it better. That's with anything. Just like I prefer Walmart over Kroger because Walmart had, got better things and the prices suit me better, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I can't go in either one because they're too crowded, but I totally get the point, though. Walmart is. I have panic attacks when I go on Walmart or Kroger, but I know I get it. It's a really good point though because I think that is the thing. You have to find what suits you. What I was going to ask you though, outside of running a business, Deneka, you also have been able to show people by example. And I go back to our first interview in 2018, the end of 2018. What has that been like for you to have people ask you for business advice, ask you for advice for starting a business or doing certain things? What has that been like for you to share what you've learned with other people?
I don't mind, and anybody will tell you. I have friends that do what I do, and we exchange advice, or they'll say, "Hey, I want to start dipping strawberries. Can you help me figure out how to do it?" I don't mind telling them. I feel like, we can all win at this. There is no, I'm not going to tell her my secrets because I don't want her to do what I do. No, if I can help you, I will help you. And if I don't know something, we'll figure it out together.
Yeah.
That's just how I am. I don't mind.
So, one of the things, of course, I had a guest come on the program a few years ago, and he said something, and it really stuck with me. And when I started thinking about it, it made me think about, I guess, even myself, but also other people. He said, in order to be successful, you have to have a strong why. Family, I know, is a very important thing for you. Do you think that family is your big why? Is that why you work so hard? Is that why you give your best? Because of your family and wanting to give something for them?
Most definitely. I want my children to be able to have their first job with me. I am aiming for a storefront or a food truck. I just want to be able to, give them something. And I really do believe that my children will be into baking and cooking because they already are now. And they want to know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and who's picking it up. They want to know everything, both of my children.
Gotcha. So we're beginning a new year here, Deneka. Where do you see a piece of cake? Where do you see Deneka going moving forward into this year?
Like I said, I'm working towards a food truck or a storefront. So I definitely want to expand. I definitely need the space. So I want to keep doing that, and I want to do more cooking than decorative cakes as well. And it's definitely not the same. Baking a cake and decorating the cake is a little bit more stressful than just cooking a meal.
Wow. As we're having this conversation, just today, one of your customers and friends, posted about your food and saying, they hit you up. What has that been like for you, Deneka, to see how not only your customer but your friends have been there supporting you, but also help spreading the word about what you're doing?
Amazing. I definitely feel the love all the time. Or, if I'm out at a store and they'll say, "Hey, aren't you the cinnamon roll lady?" And I'm like, "Is that me?" And I'm like, "Am I the cake lady now?"
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, part of also what you've done in your transparency is not only, of course, talked about your business, but you also talked about personal changes. So what has that been like for you to look at yourself and what you've been able to do, not only professionally, Deneka, but also in making personal changes in your life too?
Are you talking about the weight loss?
Right.
Right. Well, I was already, I've always struggled with weight, but over the pandemic, when we had to quarantine, I wasn't moving as much, and I noticed, I picked up weight fast. So I just got tired of feeling a certain way. I'd be cooking all day, and I'd be aching when I finish. I'm just 30 years old. I shouldn't be aching at the end of, walking all day back and forth. I shouldn't be doing that. So I decided to take to meditation, and I drink my tea every morning, and I fast until 1 or 2 p.m. I don't eat after 6 p.m. and I don't eat until maybe 2:30 every day. And everything is low carbs, no bread, no sugar. And I'm a lot less strict right now, but I'm still mostly just low carb and making sure I get my water and my tea and my meditation, because it definitely starts in your mind.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that is a great reminder for all of us, that with anything, with work, anything professionally, it all begins with the mindset. So what example, what advice would you have, Deneka, for our audience out there if they want to start something new this year, if they're thinking about starting a business or doing something new, based on your own experience, what advice would you give them about the importance of starting?
Do some research on whatever it is first. And if you feel like it's truly for you, I think you should go for it, because you will never know unless you do that. Otherwise, you'll just be wondering, what if I had done that? And now you don't have the opportunity because you waited too long. So just do it.
I think that's great advice, and you're hearing from someone who definitely knows firsthand. Again, everyone, Deneka Kelly has been our guest of A Piece of Cake. Deneka, while we were talking, I was looking at your Facebook page, and I'm kind of upset with you, but, we go be good. But I saw yesterday you had a homemade pound cake, and I didn't get a personal message to say you had some, but it's cool, because I know there'll be other opportunities out there. How can our audience stay connected with you, Deneka, and keep up with what's going on with you?
You can follow me on Instagram. I am A Piece of Cake, and that's A and the piece, like peaceful, A Piece of Cake. And my Facebook name it's just Deneka. I'll come up, but maybe type in Deneka Kelly. That's all. I'm not on anything else. Not TikTok or anything yet. I got to figure out how to work all of that stuff. I don't have time.
Look, I totally understand that. We'll make sure that we link up the Instagram for our audience. Deneka, great catching back up with you. Congratulations on everything, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
Okay.
And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.